This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer. And in this video I'd like to talk about phone cameras. Are they good enough to replace our dedicated cameras, like for example this Sony a6700? The reason for this video once again comes from the comments down below, your comments. Lately I've been getting more and more comments about phone cameras, how they are the only camera that one could ever need or want. And that's what I want to talk about. Are they really that good, and can they replace our dedicated cameras? Let's first talk about the upsides, because these phone cameras, camera phones, they have many upsides. And one, maybe even the most important upside, is the ultimate convenience. If you just want to snap pictures with the ultimate convenience, then a phone camera is the device. It is so convenient and there's no competition. No dedicated camera can rival that convenience. You also have 3, even maybe 4 cameras in one device, so you never have to change lenses or anything. You can very conveniently go from ultra wide angle to wide angle to short telephoto, and all those 3 or 4 cameras or lenses, they are always with you, because you will always take the phone with you wherever you go. And these phone cameras are so easy to use. There is no learning curve. Anyone can pull out a phone camera and create awesome pictures right away. The exposures come out perfect, the tonality is perfect, and there is no need for any kind of post-processing. Unless you absolutely want to add some filters later, but you don't have to do any post-processing and your pictures will look great, straight out of camera. And of course you can share your art immediately, post on Instagram or any social media platform, or send it out to your friend, your latest piece of art. Very convenient, and no dedicated camera can rival that experience either. The sharing could not be more convenient. The image quality is also very good, especially if the lighting conditions are good. The image quality is really good, and it's good for most people. And now let's talk about the upsides of a dedicated camera like this Sony a6700 or this Ricoh GR3X, both excellent cameras. And one important upside is the ergonomics. It is superior to any smartphone. You have all the controls and dials right at your fingertips, and you can adjust every setting the way you want. And even if you use your camera for longer periods of time, it's still comfortable to hold and keep clicking the shutter. And talking about the shutter, you can hear the shutter actually click when you press the proper shutter button on your camera. That really nice feel when you touch the shutter button and press it and hear that click. That's very satisfying. And another upside is the lens selection. You have pretty much unlimited amount of lenses to choose from. Of course, for the Ricoh you can't choose any lenses because it has a fixed lens, but for a system camera like this Sony, you can choose whatever lens you want. From super wide to super telephoto or anything in between. A zoom lens, a prime lens, whatever you want, it's available for you to mount on your camera. And with adapters you can even use lenses from other systems. And one more upside is the image quality, which is great in every situation. Whether it's a bright sunny day or dark night street scene, the image quality is great in every situation. You'll always get plenty of fine detail in your pictures, and the noise will not ruin your shots. And another upside is that you are in control, especially if you shoot RAW. You can be sure that the camera is not doing any shady background processing, ruining your shots or make them look like they are some artificial images rather than photographs. If you use a real camera, your pictures will always represent the scene that you saw in front of you when you hit the shutter. There is no hidden processing going on in the background. And even if you shoot JPEGs, your photos still represent the real scene better than a phone camera picture because there is no hidden background AI enhancement going on. And for many, the ultimate convenience is not even a priority. The process of creating a photograph, from idea to planning and to executing, is an interesting learning process for many. And talking about learning, whenever I want to learn new skills or improve my existing skills, I go to Skillshare. Because Skillshare is the sponsor of this video, the first 1000 to click the link down below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So join in, become a member, give it a try and start learning new skills right away. There's nothing much to lose, but so much to gain. It's an online learning community. They have thousands of classes from photography to cooking to gardening to marketing and everything in between. I love to cook and I constantly want to improve my cooking skills. And one very inspiring class on Skillshare has been Grant Johnson's Knife Skills 101. You can never be too good at handling knives in the kitchen. And the best part is that there are no ads and I can learn at my own pace, whenever I want and how I want. And now let's talk about some phone camera downsides, because there are quite a few of those too. One such downside is that only the main camera is good. For example, I have the iPhone 14 Pro and the main camera is really quite good. But the other two cameras, the super wide and the so-called telephoto camera, they are kind of so-so. If I want the best image quality, I have to use the main camera. I can't use the other two cameras if I want the best image quality. And another downside is that the photos look really good on a phone screen. Super good actually, but as soon as I put them on my big screen, I start to see the phone camera quality. I don't have to pixel peep or zoom in 200,000%. I can see it right away if I view the picture full screen on this 27-inch screen. And if I shoot JPEG pictures, there is some weird background processing going on and some of the pictures look kind of funny straight out of camera. I can of course shoot RAW on my iPhone 14 Pro, for example. But if I use the main camera and I use the best image quality, 48 megapixels, the file sizes are huge. They are between 60 and 80 megabytes, much more than the file size from my dedicated cameras. I can also shoot 12 megapixel pictures RAW, but then I won't get the best possible image quality. And also the RAW files usually require some post-processing, so I'm losing the convenience right there. And of course the ergonomics are really bad on any smartphone if you use it as a camera. And the picture taking is not any kind of an experience or an event. It's just a snap, just a tap on the screen. And one more thing. Phone cameras are expensive. Of course, if you buy a smartphone, you get many other things also. It's not just the camera, but if you want the best phone camera, you have to buy the best camera phone, and these are expensive. And now let's talk about the downsides of dedicated cameras. The first downside is that a dedicated camera is one more device to carry around. And you'll probably also have a spare battery, maybe another lens, so you'll also need a back. So it takes a little bit of effort to carry a dedicated camera around. And another downside is the size, of course. Most dedicated cameras are far bigger and heavier than a smartphone. The surface area of my iPhone is actually bigger than my Sony camera here, but the iPhone is such a slim device that I can easily put it in my pocket and carry around without even noticing that I have 3 cameras with me. And one more downside that comes to mind is image sharing, which is not so straightforward with a dedicated camera. Most camera manufacturers have a smartphone app, so you should be able to pretty effortlessly move your pictures from your camera to your phone and from your phone to wherever you want to share them. But in most cases, those apps don't work so seamlessly, and usually when you actually want to share something, the app for whatever reason refuses to connect to your camera. So sharing immediately is definitely not one of the upsides of a real camera. After all that, here are some of my final thoughts. First of all, if you want the ultimate convenience, then the smartphone is the device to have. This is the most convenient image-taking device that you can have. And if the ultimate convenience is what you want, then smartphone is your device. However, for some of us, the ultimate convenience is not the priority. We want the photo moment to be an event or an experience. We want to feel the shutter button, we want to feel the aperture ring, we want to feel the shutter dial, and we enjoy the planning too. Which camera to take, which lens to mount on the camera, and so on. And the more enjoyable the whole process is, the better the pictures are going to be. And if you hate your camera, you're not going to take great pictures on that camera. But if you love your camera and if you love the process, you're going to take better pictures. And of course, an experienced photographer can take great pictures on any camera. Of course. But every photographer has a favorite camera. Even the photographers who never talk about cameras, they still have a favorite camera. And with their favorite camera, they create their best pictures. So there you have it, some of my thoughts on mobile photography versus real dedicated camera photography. And now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these two devices? Which one is your preferred way of creating pictures? Please do leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear and read your thoughts as always. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.